What's going on, everybody? Saad here. Today, I'm going to show you the complete sales team agency sales process, the exact one I use to hit that 25K a month mark. A lot of people think that they need a 20-step sales process, when in reality, that's the worst thing you can do, because more steps just means more friction, and the more friction just means fewer closes. The goal isn't to have the fanciest process. The goal is to get paid as fast and as consistently as possible with something that you can execute every single time without thinking. So what I'm showing you today is lean, mean, and gives off that abundance energy that makes clients attracted to working with you. You guys can copy and paste this directly into your business and get up and running as quickly as possible. So let's get into it. So first of all, what are the principles of this sales process? Well, it's abundance. And the reason why is because this energy changes everything. When you're abundant, you don't chase. You don't follow up 10 times. You don't bend over backwards trying to convince someone, right? You present the offer. They either see the value or they don't, and you simply just move on. Because prospects can feel when you need them, and they can feel when you don't, right? So abundance is what makes them want to work with you, because people want to work with someone who's in demand, not someone who's begging, right? So this sales process creates abundance by design. It's fast, so you're not babysitting prospects who are not worth your time. And it's also very, very simple, so you can execute it repeatedly without burning out, okay? So it's lean, so there's no friction stopping you from talking to the next qualified prospect or qualified lead. So that's the first principle, abundance through speed and simplicity. Because getting to that 25K a month only requires like a handful of good clients, not 100. Because if you're charging 3 to 5K per client, you need 5 to 8 to hit like that 25K a month. That's it, not 50, not 100, just 10 good clients. So you're not trying to work with everyone. You're just trying to work with the right people. Also, we're qualifying very, very hard, okay? If a company isn't doing at least $1 million per year in revenue, they're not a fit, because we are here to sell high-ticket systems, high-ticket services. So our clients need to have the budget. Now, once you're on the call, okay, with someone who's qualified, the next principle is speed to close, which means you're proposing during the call itself. You're not sending a proposal after the fact or scheduling another meeting to discuss pricing. The deal happens on the call. So you're not saying, let me send you a proposal, or let's just schedule another meeting to discuss pricing, okay? So you're closing on the same call. Now, one thing to address is no-shows. They're going to happen. It's part of the process. Not everyone who books is going to show up, obviously, but that doesn't mean the opportunity is dead. You just need a simple system to get them rebooked. And many of my high-ticket deals actually came from rebooking the call with a prospect, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, okay? Now, let's talk about this exact sales process, all right? So this is going to be your top of funnel, i.e. where you get your clients, okay? So this is, you see this little cylinder here? This is kind of like the top of funnel. This is where all the clients are going to come from, okay? So they're going to come from 3 things. One is systematic outreach, right? The second thing is referrals. So once you get a couple clients, obviously those clients are going to refer other clients. For example, if you get one client, you deliver good results, this client will refer you to other clients that they know. And that's how we create this flywheel effect. And if you guys don't know, I know a lot of people who actually just focus on one region, by the way. I know someone that just focuses on German companies, okay? And he delivered good results for his first client. He was based in Germany, and that German client actually referred him to a bunch of clients. And that's how you kind of like just dominate one region. For example, let's say you're from France, Germany. Let's say you're from, I don't know, India, you're from the US. Let's say you're from the UK. You can focus on like one region, right? And then you get a couple clients there, and those clients were going to refer you. I know another person who is, I believe it's Aaron. I recorded a podcast with him. He's 21 years old and he makes 30K a month, and he only focuses on Spanish companies, okay? Because he has the language Spanish, right? So just give that some thought. You don't need to like talk to everyone, right? You just need a couple people. Like I said, the first principle is you only need a couple good clients to get to that 25K a month. You don't really need the whole world, right? And the third way to get clients is obviously social media. Now, when I say social media, you should not be focusing on it when you are, let's say, a beginner, because obviously you need to have credentials and people are only going to listen to you if you have credentials. But there's other ways you can post on social media to get clients, right? Which is kind of like this sort of like build it in public. So kind of like you're documenting your processes of what you're doing, like a daily accountability thing you can do. For example, you could post about what you've done today, and that can ultimately like attract a good quality client. Okay. Another thing you can do is when you kind of like first get your first client, and then you deliver good results and you just talk about it all over social media. You can record YouTube videos on that. You can even like record like the testimonial of that client talking about how good your sales agency is, right? Or how good your services are. So it would be a good way to also post about the wins you got for them, all this sort of stuff. Okay, so you have your systematic outreach, referrals, social media. But 90% of your clients are going to come from this, right? Your systematic outreach, which is kind of like the number one needle mover where you're going to get your clients, your systematic outreach. It's like 90%, which is your daily prospecting. Okay, so once you do your systematic outreach, there's referrals coming in, social media too, if you're posting. Obviously, from these top of funnels, these ways of getting clients, you're going to get a meeting with a potential prospect, a potential client, right? A lead. So that meeting is going to be a meeting booked, right? So they're going to want to hop on a call with you so you can actually get them to pay you money, right? So once the meeting is booked, well, obviously the meeting is going to occur, right? In real life. Okay. Now in this sales process, we have two routes. Now, if the prospect shows up on the call, well, here's what you want to do. You simply just want to go through your pitch. You simply just want to go through the sales call. Okay. You're not pitching. You're just consulting. You're just discovering the pain, right? You're just asking them a bunch of questions. I'm going to link you a couple videos that I've recorded about sales calls. Also like a 1 hour recording of me explaining sales calls, right? So you can definitely just give that a look. Okay. And then during the call, you're going to send them the proposal during the call. So you're going to kind of like present them everything on the call, the price and everything. That way you don't waste your time on like bad fit prospects. Because like I said, like the whole point of this sales process is that way you can put the time and energy, 90% of the time and energy of your day on prospects that are actually worth your time and are qualified, okay? Because I think the time and energy you're going to put it in someone who's unqualified, you can put it elsewhere in getting another client who is worth your time, okay? So you want to send them the proposal, either a yes or no on that call. If it's a yes, then that's closed and paid. And after that, you essentially just start your sales project, okay? Now, obviously, when there's a meeting booked, let's say the prospect doesn't show up, totally cool. Like sometimes life happens, right? Priorities, right? There's tons of things that could happen. So you just want to like follow up with them and rebook the call. So you're just going to rebook until the meeting occurs. If they show up, that's good. Presents the proposal, get them to the next step, okay? If they don't show, we'll just keep rebooking with them until they actually show. Don't worry about the show up thing because obviously, like I said, sometimes just things happen. Just rebook the call, okay? Now, when the meeting occurs and they show up, right? If they are not making at least $1 million per year, well, they're not a fit, right? Because obviously you want to get them to pay you like 3 to 5 all the way to like a 10K system. So we don't want to like deal with people who are not making at least $1 million a year, because if they're not making at least $1 million a year, well, they don't have the budget, right? And the ones that I recommend you don't deal with them is kind of like those solopreneurs with no sales team, because if someone doesn't have a sales team, right, obviously they doing everything themselves, so they're kind of like limited. They're wearing multiple hats. So these are the ones that you do not want to deal with, okay? Now let's talk about the software and the tools that you're going to need to make this sales process as frictionless as possible, okay? So in terms of like booking the meetings, I use this platform called call.com. I really like call.com. I think it's way better than Calendly. The reason why is because I can automate a bunch of stuff here. There's webhooks and stuff, and I just like the way it works, right? If I go to app here, you can essentially just have multiple events, right? And it's totally free. You can use the webhooks or like the API totally free in the free plan. You don't need to pay for it. I believe in Calendly, you do have to pay for it. And I just like cal.com. It's specifically for operators like you, agency owners, etc. So highly recommend you use call.com for scheduling, completely free. Okay. Now let's talk about proposals. So, You can use PandaDoc, which is the one that I use. Highly recommend you use PandaDoc. I talked about it many times. And the reason why is because the whole like point of the sales process is to minimize the steps between you getting the prospect on a call and then getting to pay you so you can start the product. You just want to minimize that. You want to make it as fast as possible, as frictionless as possible, right? And this PandaDoc, right? This platform is called PandaDoc. It allows you to connect your Stripe. Okay, so Stripe is integrated with PandaDoc, so you kind of like just show them the proposal during the call. So what I do is I essentially just share my screen. I already have my proposal ready, this is my recommendation. Always have your proposal already ready before the call. Okay, have like a pricing that's already in there, and make sure to anchor super high. For example, I would anchor, for example, 6K, and let's say they push back, you still want to like push 5K. Right? So you kind of like still leaving room for more profitability, because if there's like objections in terms of like 6K, can tailor it down to like 4.5K or like even 5K. Okay. So always anchor high. That way you are still in the middle, and then that middle is still profitable for you. Okay. So I use PandaDoc. You can easily integrate it with Stripe. Like I said, they can just I just share my screen, walk them through the proposal. They can read it. We can read it together. Right. And then, off the bat, I say, hey, let me send you the proposal right now. If you're good, just let me know. And then you can essentially just pay and we're good. Get them to say yes on the call, right? Always get the yes on the call. Do not deal with prospects who say, well, just send me a proposal and I'll take a look, because that's how you get ghosted, right? So you send them the proposal during the call and they essentially just click on pay using your Stripe. And that's it, you get paid, right? So like I said, it's very frictionless, very easy. So that's all that you need. You just need call.com, right? Or PandaDoc. There's other platforms like DocuSign. Let's say you don't want to use PandaDoc. DocuSign is pretty good too. But they don't have like the Stripe integration, right? And I'm all about like minimizing friction on my end and also the client's end. Okay, you can also use DocuSign too, which is really good. But if you want to make it as frictionless as possible, just go for PandaDoc. So that's all that you need. You just need cal.com, right? A scheduling platform and a proposal sending platform and some sort of like payment processor where you're gonna process the payments, right? And as you can see, it's very lean. It's very simple. And the whole point is avoiding complexity and doing the things that actually move the needle and make you money. So just avoid the complexity, right? Now, let me just give you a recap. You're going to get clients from 3 channels: your systematic outreach, your referrals, your social media, right? When I say systematic outreach is essentially your daily prospecting, right? Your referrals are going to be the clients that are going to refer other clients for you. Social media is basically your posts, etc. And from those 3 channels, you're gonna get a meeting with a prospect, qualify them hard during the sales call. Do not pitch, just be a consultant. It's very calm, collected, and controlled. During the call, send them the proposal. If it's a yes, done, you close them and essentially just start with the project. If the lead or the prospect doesn't show up, no stress. Just gonna rebook with them, and essentially they enter our sales process once again. So it's very simple and straightforward. There's no bottlenecks, there's no constant fixing, and that's all you need to have. Okay, so hopefully you guys found value in this one. Like I always say, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.